Hello there. You know, everybody, the other day I sat down and I wrote a full feature-length review on Fallout 76. Quite unbiased as well. I highlighted some good areas, what the game did okay, did alright, did well at, but then focused and picked apart what it didn't do so well at, because there's far more issues with the game than there are good parts, right? And I sat there after recording it and listening back to my own voice, which is annoying enough to listen to. I was like, people aren't going to get this. It's just going to be another hater versus Bethesda bot. The haters are hating on it because they don't like it, right? And that's understandable, but then they're fueled by Bethesda bots who are dumbfounded by logic. Logic almost doesn't get through to these guys. Todd Howard could walk into their room, shit on their desk, sell them their desk back, and they would gladly accept it. And then you could point out the lack of logic in that. You could say, well, that just doesn't make sense, and they'll attack you for it. That's what I'm referring to when I say a Bethesda bot. So then the Bethesda bots end up fueling the haters. So then the haters start attacking the Bethesda bots. And then the Bethesda bots get all like defensive, and then they start getting really toxic. I don't know if you've noticed when you're in Fallout communities, but Bethesda bots, they are very toxic. I'm on like For Honor communities, I'm in Overwatch communities, and I don't think I've seen this level of toxicity. And it's not an offensive level of toxicity in the sense that, like, you know, they'll threaten you or make really harsh jokes. They're just fucking morons for the most part. Like, I'm reading what they're saying and it doesn't make sense. Then when you call them out on it and you apply logic to the conversation, they attack you for it. And they start trying to deconstruct your conversation and act all high and mighty. Half of them can't even spell correctly, okay? So I mean, that's a really cheap argument to make. So, instead of sitting here and making a full review, what I'm simply going to do is I'm going to show you what you can get for the $60, £50 experience of the next Bethesda game. Enjoy.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is all there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like the breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads. All my memories gather round her, miner's lady, stranger to blue water, dark and dusty, painted on the sky, misty taste of moonshine, teardrops in my eye. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads. I hear a voice in the morning, now she calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. And driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country road, take me home,
Howard, Toddhoward, game director for Fallout 3. This is an enormous, dynamic world.
How much of a tech demo for Skyrim with Fallout?
The game has over 200 dungeons, all handcrafted. And one of the great things about having a fully dynamic game engine is all of this just works. These NPCs are not scripted. You can walk all the way to the top of that mountain. Go where you want, do whatever you want. This is the golden age of gaming. Make the player proud when he's playing your game. Make yourself proud that you made it. Make your player proud that he bought it. And it works, it actually works perfectly. Our artists have painstakingly modeled over 9,000 objects. We actually have recorded around 1,000 of the most popular names for him to say.
We have over 40,000 lines of recorded dialogue.
You just put what you want in your hands, and that's really the character you're playing. We made a real one.
Wait, what?
Mods transferred, played, and shared for free on Xbox One. And I want to be clear, actually, that feature is not coming out at launch.
Todd.
Now, unfortunately, my channel doesn't have enough subscribers or daily views in order for me to become a scumbag and extend this to over 10 minutes for ad revenue. Seriously, I just want to go over the next few clips and explain what's happening, because I don't really want to drag this out any more than it already is. I see a lot of other videos out there explaining in more detail why this game is a no-go. For most people, obviously some people will enjoy it. Some people will use the argument that it's supposed to be played with friends. It's more fun when you play it with friends. Poking at shit is not fun. I assume with friends there, it might be marginally more fun because you could make jokes. It's still shit at the end of the day. Basically, this game lacks any balance whatsoever. It's either far too easy, almost one-shotting enemies, or you get completely swarmed by enemies that either just spawn and just insta-kill you by running at you and bashing you into a corner and beating the shit out of you, or they have a move that they can just keep on spamming, i.e. the Assaultron's head cannon or the Scorch Beast's sonic rings of death. What's going on here is I'm firing a fully automatic weapon, and this has happened since the latest patch where my frames drop. This is a game where you cannot use a fully automatic weapon on Xbox because your frames will drop. This is the $60 experience? This is £50? What? Okay, so what's going on here is we actually were doing a quest for the Brotherhood of Steel because they're in this game, obviously. God, don't you know your lore? Lore doesn't matter. What's the point of the fucking story? What happens is a Scorch Beast somehow spawns in the walls. So if you don't know much about gaming, or you don't know how gaming works, like each level is a cell. So they have a cell to build like a cave or a dungeon in, right? So you've got the open world and then the interiors are cells. So this thing managed to spawn in the cell. So just outside of the walls, you know when you glitch through a map, there'll be nothing there but an empty space? That's the cell. And it was there. It was in there. You can hear it flying around. It starts attacking us. At points, it lands through the fucking wall to attack us, then flies off again. We eventually get this thing down to quite low health. It flies off, and the next time we see it, it's full health again. $60, people. I spent money on this. I hate myself. I hate myself. So what's happening here is we killed a Mirelurk Queen, which in Fallout 4 usually presented some good loot, right? So if you killed the legendary Deathclaw in Fallout New Vegas, there was a unique weapon nearby. If you killed these high-level enemies in any game whatsoever, including Elder Scrolls Online, there is usually an item of some rarity that drops with them. Not in this game. Fucking no. The loot system in this game is garbage. Okay, so the final thing is the bunkers. So, as I'm sure you're aware, these sort of games, MMOs, online shooters like this. Excuse me, I'm yawning because I'm talking about the game and I find it boring. Online shooters like this, Fallout, Skyrim, World of Warcraft, those sort of games have these things called dungeons, which I'm sure you're aware of. The bunkers pretty much act as the dungeons of this game, and oh my lord, are they fucking stupid. They just swarm enemies. They constantly spawn enemies. The turrets are... There's a turret in every room, in every corner, that does obscene damage and just fires at a fast rate. It's ridiculous. We were getting really annoyed, our team. Yep.
Much more robots just get into the room. I can't deal with this.
There's far too many robots. We gotta defend something while dealing with Assaultrons and Robo-Brains? No, this is way too much, Bethesda. I'm just gonna kill him. The chief isn't on the controls. What? Oh yeah, just
disappeared. And I'm dead.
right. I just need to make
Again.
one. The problem is there's too much. They all respawn. They all do amounts of damage, and they don't take into consideration that your weapons break, or that you run out of ammo, or you run out of meds. It's just constant. Well, lol, just kill them all. It's like, no, that's... no. And my teammate got out of his power armor, and it bugged him so he couldn't move. He was stuck. He physically, halfway through the dungeon, got glitched out because he exited the power armor because he needed to craft something, which you have to do in this place, by the way. It's part of the quest. And he got glitched. He had to restart his game. When he came back, he was still on our team, but he had to fucking do the dungeon again on his own. $60! In short, don't get this game. Does it have potential? Yeah, but a pile of shit also has potential to be polished. I'm just saying, it's horrible. I don't think you could fix this game.